Reddit. Who is the nicest person you know, and what did life hand them that you think they absolutely deserved? One of my closest friends recently got accepted into medical school. Ever since we first met in HS, I've never heard her say a single bad thing about anyone. It's actually a running joke in our friend group how nice she is. She loves and really cherishes her family and friends and will drop whatever she's doing to help someone in need. She's gonna be a great doctor someday. She's already an amazing human being. Please tell her that from me. People like her are what make me feel alive and happy. Tell her I wish her the best of success in her degrees, her residency, and all the fullest of health and happiness for her and her family. Grew up down the street from a really awesome couple who did a lot to keep kids off the street and out of trouble. Turned their garage into a cool game room hangout area for the neighborhood kids. We're always having dinners and events for local teens like basketball, Smash Bros tournaments, board game nights, etc. I don't know how many kids they kept out of trouble, but they were just awesome people. 2 years ago their house burned to the ground in an electrical fire. They're older now, in their 70s I'd guess. Anyway, they were known and loved in the community. The local churches and schools all had fundraisers for them and they were able to buy and move into a pretty nice house still in that original neighborhood and furnish it with new furniture. Someone from work who helped me during the hardest time of my life was recently blessed with a baby and then a promotion in the same week. He was longing for both for a long time. I've never felt happier for another person in my life. Congratulations, we're promoting you to director. Here's a baby. My sister is one of the nicest people I know. She will drop everything to help you if you have a problem and will put everyone else before herself. For years, she was working an IT job she hated for $12 an hour with a boss that blamed her when anything went wrong. Recently, after a lot of searching, she got a job that pays her double the wage, with benefits, and she has a team she loves working with. I'm really happy for her. That's fantastic, and good for her, but even double sounds low for management. Miss Winifred Laney, the elderly lady who lived across the street from us, taught me to love animals and how to care for them. She loved her beautiful black and white cat, Tompkins, her sole companion. After Miss Laney died, my parents and I made sure Tompkins got a loving home because that was the one thing dearest to her heart before she passed on. I don't know whether to or. My aunt. She never wanted children. She was happy living on her own and being a spinster. My mom was an alcoholic and it got so bad that she couldn't take care of my 3 sisters and I. So, my aunt took us in. All 4 of us. She gave up her life to raise us so we could survive. I am eternally grateful for the opportunities she's given me. She's helped me buy my car. She's helped me with school. She's been a powerhouse of a person in my life and without her I'd be on drugs or in foster care. Her sacrifice made my life possible. Sounds like her and Uncle Bert would make a good couple. My sister. On my 7th birthday I wanted a bunch of these Power Ranger action figurines. Take in mind these were freaking expensive. She didn't have a job and actually managed to fork over about €60 for them. When she sees them she thinks that I deserve more than those small figurines. She buys me the game that I will forever, for sentimental reasons, love, Super Mario Galaxy. I was freaking ungrateful when she got me it. Right now I am cringing about it. Now she has a job and can buy practically everything she wants. She deserves it. You should say that's an awesome sister. My childhood friend and hero. He has a wonderful wife, girl next door as kids, beautiful children, and successful business they started. Nobody I know is more generous, meek, and supportive. I've never met a person with a bad thing to say about him in 20 years. That seems like a perfect example of too good to be true. He probably has some shocking deep dark secret. Played football against this giant dude in high school. He was a year or 2 older than me. At first glance you're kinda scared at how big this guy is in person, and then you see him in the halls and he's always smiling. He's super freaking friendly. Talked to him a few times. Very casual, but he was always humble, like abnormally humble. He wasn't born here I think. His roots are from Jamaica I am pretty sure, and I think he had plans to be a doctor but, couple years later, he's playing for the freaking Detroit Lions. Laken. We all see you and very proud my dude. He's playing for the freaking Detroit Lions. This isn't the nobody deserves that thread. My great aunt is the sweetest lady I've ever met. She'll give anyone a shirt off her back and a warm meal to go with it. But she was married to this really awful guy, a total drunken deadbeat, also abusive. She had gotten pregnant at like 16. Back then she really didn't have a choice. When she was about 30, he died in a boating accident. He got drunk and cleaned the boat with super flammable chemicals while smoking a cigarette. Kaboom. Unbeknownst to my great aunt, he had about a $200,000 life insurance policy. Not only was she free of this monster that beat on her all the time, but she had a nice chunk of change to start a new life. I think we might be related. My dad has told me a story about one of his relatives that is uncannily similar to your tale. My grandfather-in-law had several daughters. One wanted to go to a community college, so he offered to drive her. She had a friend who wanted to go as well, so he picked her up as well. His daughter dropped the class, so for the rest of the class he drove his daughter's friend to school every day, even though his daughter wasn't going. Wow, what an angel. My son. When he was 8 I got divorced and got custody. His mother never saw him again. He is in his 30s now. She just died this year. I raised him by myself and he did not have an easy life growing up, and yet he is the nicest person I know. Donates time and money to charity. Always assumes that others have the best intentions. Works hard and is raising a wonderful family. I have no idea how he managed it. He has a great role model. Kids are resilient, but they also need a solid support system. Sounds like you did a great job. A woman I know is the sweetest and kindest person I know. She was told that she had lost the baby she had been trying to conceive for 10 years. She was heartbroken. A few months later she ended up in hospital for appendicitis. This turned out to be a misdiagnosis and she gave birth to my gorgeous little niece and nephew. Alia and Erin now have 4 more siblings. Erin. Oh god no. The brother of my ex-uncle and his wife were the sweetest people on earth. Amazing with kids and longing for them. Couldn't conceive though, which was 110% unfair. But the little boy they were able to adopt is everything they ever wanted and deserved. A guy I work with is also exceedingly nice, and truly goes out of his way to make sure he takes care of anyone to the best of his ability. Him and his wife are trying to adopt since they can't have kids, and I hope he gets the sweetest kid ever. My friend Dylan from college. We bonded early in freshman year and would have lunch once a week even after he dropped out after sophomore year to pursue his dream of playing music. I kept working through school and he chased the dream all while filling in odd jobs. He clerked at the local record store. He helped special needs kids. He gave guitar lessons. Last year there was a band in need of a drummer in Nashville and they asked Dylan to be the guy. The band was signed to a label and are currently on a headlining tour out west. He's done 2 tours of Europe and everywhere in the US. He's still a gem of a human, stays in touch with the special needs kids back home, and got every bit of good karma he deserved. My best friend is the most amazing person. She had the shittiest childhood and a load of family problems. Both her parents were big time drug addicts. The family struggled financially, among lots of other bulls. Her husband now is also one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. The two of them are like the nucleus of our entire friend group, and they made it a pretty big one because everyone loves them. They always throw the parties to bring everyone together, and if you can only get a ride one way they will always let you stay or give you ride home. They're the kind of people that will literally give you the shirts off their backs. Now, their little family of 4 is thriving and I think it's exactly what my best friend deserved. She gets to be an amazing mom, have any amazing husband, and her dad eventually got clean and is an amazing grandpa to her kids and has a great relationship with her too. She is doing so well and I'm so proud to call her my best friend. I always tell her she's a gift to this world because she truly is. She definitely has an amazing friend in you. I had a friend growing up named Paige. She is the most genuine and kind person ever. I was a horrid social outcast and got picked on a lot, but she never let it color her view of me. She was always asking to play with me at recess or eat with me at lunch no matter how outcast I became. She and I have been friends for a long time but fell out of contact as people who grow up and move out often do. She graduated college last year, I think, and I was vaguely worried that she'd come across a guy that would only use up her kindness and then leave her bitter and cold-hearted, like yours truly. Instead she found an amazing man who supports her and who is just as kind-hearted and gentle as she is, and I cried my eyes out at their absolutely beautiful wedding. Paige absolutely deserved to find someone as perfect for her as her husband, and I wish her well. She's gonna be a great wife and mother someday. I had a positively brilliant and inspiring boss who used to show us Yakuza movies to get us pumped up for projects. He moved on to be creative director of an award-winning game development studio. He's got it all now and totally deserves every iota of his success. I knew this guy in high school that I hated. Upon reflection, deep down it might have been out of jealousy. This guy was literally the character of Chris Traeger, played by Rob Lowe, in Parks and Recreation. From being overly health conscious, to overly polite and nice, to overly optimistic positive, to super triggered and overly self-righteous. Me being a pessimistic frick in high school, still am. I absolutely hated him. Still I think of him all the time and how he's the person I wish I could be now. I never saw him let a bad situation ruin his mood or unmotivate him. He's currently in med school and I can quite honestly say he deserves a great life. There was a moment as Parks and Rec where Chris is trying to deal with his own mortality and dying alone. Although after a couple episodes he does bounce back, but that just means you can add determined to that list. One of my good friend's mother is the kindest person I know. I grew up in a rough household. My stepfather would come home right when I got out of school. He would yell and hit me, but never hard enough to leave a mark. Until I left, my mom would not believe me, but I always knew where to go. She would take me into her house, feed me and make sure I had a place to sleep. I still call her mom to this day. Anyone that helps out disabled folk, any disabled folk, without shame, regret, and because it's out of the goodness of their heart and not because it's required or mandatory, those are the nicest people I know. I don't know them, but if they get handed nice things, they definitely deserve them. But for someone close to me, my aunt works with those who have disabilities, and she's now a proud grandma. Recently she also got 2 puppies, Zeus and Doza, adorable little things. Everyone's stories start off saying the person they know is nice. Well, my story is about my uncle who actually isn't very nice to people. He is unsocial and cursed like a sailor, but when my father, his brother, passed away unexpectedly, turned over a new leaf. He paid entirely for my father's funeral. One late night my battery died and I was stuck and didn't know who to call because my dad is the one I relied on the most. I called my uncle and he came in a flash. Bought me a new battery and it made me want to cry. He always calls to check on my family, makes us dinner, helps fix things around our house, cuts our yard, washes my car, and believe me, there's more. He does it all and never asks for anything in return. After many years of struggling to maintain his business, I'm happy to say he's had a very successful year and he deserves it. My wife is the nicest person I have ever met. She sees the good in everyone, never talks behind people's backs, and will do anything to help. I am kind of a cynical don compared to her, but she judges me on the good things I do, and during our 35 years together, has made me a much better person while I try to live up to her opinion of me. I don't know that life has handed her anything too special. She would say me, but she probably could have found someone better, for sure nicer. My friend is a funny and kind guy who's very smart. Last year he got Student of the Year. Totally deserved it more than anyone else I know. One of my best friends, Joan, excellent at her job, works hard with the disadvantaged, an excellent friend to so many people. Joan lights up a room when she enters, has desperately wanted children forever, now in 30s, many unhappy relationships, including an abusive one which she fortunately left despite much family pressure to marry and have kids already. Now has met a lovely man, got married, got pregnant straight away, has a beautiful daughter. She deserved happiness and a family. A colleague and her husband ran a placement agency and found work for hundreds of contractors over the years. As well, they took in 3 foster children with severe behavioral issues, whom they later adopted. In 2014, they won a multi-million-dollar lottery prize and then proceeded to donate the works to charity. Holy crap, they are too good for this world. I met a group of people online when I was younger, about 14. through playing games online. They have become my closest friends ever in life. We have known each other for 10 years now and not a day goes by that we don't talk to each other, hang out, support each other, etc. Sadly they haven't gotten much in life. Fairly poor families, bad parents, etc. So I guess the thing they got that they absolutely deserve is such a close-knit group of friends that they can rely on and spend time with. My friend, Gage. Dude just does anything he can for his friends. He's had to deal with a lot of stressful crap in his own life, but he will drop everything and help you out if you call. I had to move. Gage was there. I was depressed after finding out my girlfriend cheated on me. Gage came over and stayed the night at my house. When we were roommates, he drove with me to the hospital when my mom passed away. He always was in love with this girl. They met like 5 years ago, and he just knew. He pursued this girl with the best intentions. They are both Christians, so he constantly prayed about it. It sounds cheesy, but he's my spiritual inspiration. He got to know her. He was okay with just being friends with her, just because he enjoyed spending time with her. They started dating a week after we moved out of our place and went separate ways. I got to watch their relationship grow and him being an overall great guy to friends and to his girlfriend. I was so proud of him when they got married last summer. After the ceremony, I walked up to him and gave him the biggest hug. I was holding back tears and told him, "You deserve this happiness more than anyone I know." His wife is delightful and has the same morals and values as Gage. They know I've been super stressed in school and work, so they've invited me to dinner multiple times and they have become part of my family. Another recent selfless act. I had an interview for a school program that pretty much was my college life hanging in the balance. I either got accepted or had to change majors. That night before, my dog jumped on my bed and broke my only pair of glasses. I was texting Gage at the time and told him. 15 minutes later, his wife and him were at my front door and she worked on them for a good half an hour till they were fixed. This was at like 11 PM and I knew they had work tomorrow morning. Gage, you deserve the love you've been given and I'm blessed to call you a friend. My ex-boss RIP. He got a high school sweetheart, wife of 45 years, soulmate, mother to his kids, the whole package from what I could see. My parents growing up helped everyone and anyone they came across that needed help. My mom made a cross stitch that still hangs on the wall. It says, "We always have room for one more." They truly mean that. It didn't matter if they were family, friends, or people they just met. Growing up we were working poor. We never had decent running cars. We often had family members living with us and one time my parents took in a family of 6 for 4 months. They meet our needs as best they could and both of my parents often worked more than one job. They both have been active in volunteer organizations like Wishing Star, Special Olympics, Firefighters EMT. It started with my mom winning a little basic Ford pickup truck. Since then they've just lucked into quite a few things that just feel like karma repaying them for their kindness and generosity. They are beautiful people and deserve all of the good things that come to them. My mum. She's a mother of 8 and has fostered children too. She's just a really generous person. We were always poor, but she'd always make sure we had everything we needed, even if you weren't her biological child. A few years back, she won $1 million. She gave some money to all the kids, and she was able to pay off the mortgage and be comfortable for the first time in her life. I know a very pretty girl who gets a lot of modeling and acting jobs, has a super hot, smart boyfriend, and a cute dog. She travels all over the world. You can't even be mad, though, because she's a really nice person and every interaction I ever had with her has shown how nice she is. Jay came to my high school in freshman year. He was an amazing guy, but I was never too close to him. He was nice to everyone. He went above and beyond for simple tasks and did everything he could to make someone happy. He was truly an amazing person. Later that year, he died in a skiing accident. The whole school was devastated. His funeral was packed with people. Everyone who cared for him was there. Everyone was weeping. He had made such an impact on us in 5 months. He has been made honorary valedictorian for our class. We all knew he was going to be valedictorian if he did live for grad. I miss you, Jay. I wish I had a bit longer with you. I wish I could downvote life. My grandpa and grandma, from my father's side, They've been through some serious suffering, being Holocaust survivors in the thick of it all. They met after the war on a random corner street in Israel. They truly deserve to find each other. They've been together for over 50 years now. I think they deserve much more, but they are content with the life they live, and that's what matters in the end. My dad. This man is my idol in so many ways, showing an impossibly pure side of the world to everybody that gets the pleasure of meeting him. Hardworking without being a workaholic, he managed to raise all 4 of us siblings while my mom stayed at home and homeschooled us kids. He did this on a job that overworked him, underappreciated him, and paid less than $50,000 a year, all while somehow maintaining a fatherly presence. He was never absent from our lives, and was always gentle and loving. He still is. The one and only time he ever showed anger towards me is a memorable event in my mind for just that reason. In 18 years living in his house, he only yelled at me once. To make him sound even more amazing, he spent his free time fixing cars for people in our local community that couldn't afford to have them fixed themselves. It was a different car in our garage every week it seemed. He must have fixed 100 cars for people in need just while I was a teenager. He got what he deserves a few years ago now. He got laid off from the job that undervalued him after 20 years with them, and after a short stint at another job that was only slightly better, he got a position with this company that pays 2x what he made at the job he worked my whole life up until this point, with a big window office next to the river, and a workplace that will have beer and arcade games in and call it a day early on Thursday afternoons. He's been able to take time off without taking business calls every hour like he used to, and he finally got a car that is less than a decade old last year. I'm so happy for him, and he deserves it all and so much more. One of the nicest people I know who would give you anything you needed but is also very real with people because she cares, i.e. will help you but will say, you need to get it together. Her husband left her and their son for a man. He tried to completely abandon the son but his family was basically like, what the frick, why are you trying to leave your son? She is still very kind and generous. Life is weird. This lady I used to work with. She was so nice it was to her detriment. She worked in customer service, tech support kind of, and if someone expressed anything negative at all she would be very supportive and listen even though it might not always have been her job. She did it because she cared about people and genuinely wanted the best for anyone she spoke with. Best friend is the most genuinely thoughtful, kind person I've ever met. Always interested in hearing how your life is and always happy for you when something good happens. Great at building people up. She comes from a non-super well-off family. We had a year abroad in our 3rd year of college and she received a scholarship for $20,000. I don't think anyone could think of a person who deserved it more. She put a lot of the money straight into the bank to pay off some of her loans, and still bought the super cheap milk. I know this chick called Sam who is an absolute gem. As in, I don't think she's ever actually wronged anyone in the course of her life. And after 24 years she has met a guy who seems to be just as nice. They're the cutest dang couple, and when I'm writing cute couples, I think of them as a kind of basic rubric. My sister has suffered from several miscarriages over the years now and my brother-in-law have adopted the most perfect 4-year-old. It worked out great for her too because if it wasn't for my sister and brother-in-law she probably would have stayed in foster care until she was 18 and now she has the best parents ever. My best friend. Let's call her Red, the nickname I use because her hair is basically fire-made hair follicle. She got to go on this hundreds of miles long hiking trip that she dreamt of for years. Met one of my greatest friends in 5th grade and we've been friends for 10 years now. He's incredibly smart and very humble about it. He got a $400K scholarship to go study some nuclear stuff at the US Naval Academy. His backup option was Harvard. Had a wonderful 8th grade teacher, always treated everyone with respect and let us do fun things like sign out for lunch and give us extra gym classes on slow weeks. Well, he passed away in his 40s from cancer leaving behind a family. It's so bulls how some of the best people die young, yet we have plenty of crooked politicians and sex offenders that seem to live forever. Really makes me not believe in karma. That's sad. I think you read the question wrong. My friend Mandy, life dealt her a crap hand. Now she has a great job, an amazing fiance. I completely approve. He gets my humor. Instant 10/10, a great and adorable pet, and some of the best friends in existence, even with me excluded. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.